A mother and her teenage daughter are taking Meta and YouTube to court. The trial just got underway this week, and it could have an impact on thousands of similar cases.
Within the last week, we already saw TikTok and Snapchat settling in the case. We have our legal expert, Whitney Traylor, here to break it all down for us. Thank you for being here, Whitney.
Sure, good to be here.
So what is at the heart of this particular lawsuit? Because there's so many out there. Like, why did the Supreme Court take on this one? Why is this one important?
Well, this is an interesting case. There are a lot of cases out there, and this is going to be the first of several more to come, of probably thousands actually. And essentially what they're saying is that these defendants, and in this case it's really Meta and Google, they're saying they engineered their apps that made it nearly impossible for kids to put them down when they start scrolling. And they did that by infinite scrolling, autoplay videos, frequent notifications and recommendations on algorithms. And it's interesting because I just started, personally, I can give some testimony here. I just started a challenge with Big Dream Hakeem on Instagram, and it's a 30-day challenge, no sugar, caffeine, liquor, weed, a bunch of gluten, all these other things, and no doom scrolling. All the other things, I thought sugar and caffeine would be the challenge. I'm in my 50s, and the doom scrolling has been my nemesis. I haven't been able to do it. So for my own personal testimony, yes, I think that there is something to this lawsuit about how they have us hooked on this doom scrolling. It's really addictive.
I see you on TikTok.
My niece has me set up on TikTok.
You're on TikTok.
Yes.
I sent him some recipe on TikTok the other day by accident, but I was like, this is good. I'm gonna make it. Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
I got that.
To your point though, I mean, I agree. I think this is long overdue personally, but from the legal perspective, do you think it's gonna be complicated to try this case? How long do you think it will last?
It's going to be a complicated case, and like most cases, you have to come with evidence, and you come to trial with evidence. So there's going to be expert testimony. There's going to be, I think, really compelling testimony from some of these teenage witnesses who said, hey, I had body dysmorphia, I had depression, all these other things that came.
Addiction, right?
Addiction, completely. So it's going to be a complicated case, and this is a jury trial, and so, you know, we're one of the few countries in the world with a jury system, and I believe in the jury system. It's an opportunity for peers to make that decision, but it's going to be very technical. It's going to be a complicated case to try. I suspect it will go weeks, probably months, but this is a really important and somewhat cutting-edge case.
So the outcomes, what do you think?
Well, the outcome is going to be interesting. I mean, the outcome is going to be, and there's some complications here because this also implicates Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act, which is what these internet providers have been able to use, which says, look, we bring people to the table, but we can't be in control of what's actually disseminated here. And that's what they've used. That was a 1996 law, and they have completely used that to avoid liability. But here, they're not saying, well, it's because you're bringing people together. They're saying it's because of your systems that you have people hooked. So this may be getting around Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act, which will be really interesting because that will change really how the internet operates going forward.
And will that change their argument? Because like you said, you know, they've always had this, you know, this way to escape their liability. Do you think that they're going to argue something differently in their defense this time around?
No, I think they are going to argue Section 230 gives
stick
them,
with that.
yeah, I think that's going to give them immunity, but they're also arguing that there's no clinical diagnosis of addiction to social media, which obviously the experts are going to come in and testify about. They're going to say there's no direct link between social media and mental health, but I think there's going to be a plethora of evidence to dispute that. And then, of course, they're going to argue the First Amendment, which is going to be interesting because here they're going to say media content is a type of protected speech. So that's going to be an interesting argument as well.
And we do know some people settled. Any idea of how, I mean, is this closed? Do we know how much money they got?
No, we don't know how much money we got. And this was, I think, TikTok and Snapchat settled on, and this was the first of many different cases. So even though this one settled, there's still defendants in multiple cases. So we'll have to see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep us posted. Whitney Traylor. Thank you.